Hi, my name is Corinne Bloom, and I'm a life coach, mentor, and relationship expert. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about the theme of self acceptance because it's a big part of the work that I do, but I also see that it's a theme that's really coming into the world right now. Um, for both men and women, but I think especially for women living under the patriarchy, living in a society that maybe we have been deemed lesser than or not as worthy, or we're fighting for equal pay or for equal opportunity. So there's a bit of a history for women there, but for both men and women, this whole idea of self acceptance can sometimes feel very overwhelming, I think. And yet it is such a fundamental part of our being and our need to feel fulfilled and contented and at peace and happy and joyful in our lives. So the thing is with self-acceptance is I often hear from people there's maybe this connotation that, well, I will accept myself when I'm better than I am, when I'm good enough, when I've succeeded, when I've achieved a certain something, when I've made a certain amount of money, then I'll accept myself. It's a very conditional acceptance. And the thing about self-acceptance is that it's really just about, literally, it seems really obvious, but accepting where we are right now. And it doesn't matter what that is. If right here, right now is shame, is sadness, is anger, is confusion, is feeling like a failure, whatever it is, that's the present moment. That's your truth in this moment. And of course it can change and evolve, but in this moment, that is our truth. And so can that be okay? Can I accept that how I'm feeling right now is just a feeling, or it's just a thought, and it's an experience? And can I in this moment go, okay, maybe this is really uncomfortable for me, but can it be okay? And can how I'm feeling be okay? Because the moment we do that, there's this exhalation that can occur where we can just allow ourselves to be here, at least for this moment. And I use this word a lot in my work, in my writing, in the book that I'm writing right now, being with ourselves. Just like we would like a friend, a really dear friend that we feel like we can share our heart and soul with, can we be there for ourselves like a friend would, to just listen, just to say, hey, it's okay. I'm here with you. You're not alone. I love you. I care about you. How do you feel? And having this kind of dialogue with ourselves is really what allows us to get to know ourselves better, to get to know our fears, to understand where those fears come from, to also understand what are our desires, what are we passionate about, what do we long to experience in life, what makes us feel happy and fulfilled and at peace really within ourselves. And obviously a lot of my work talks about, I talk about the authentic self, but that really again is about coming back home to ourselves. So acceptance is kind of a huge first step to then reaching self-love and then really reaching our authentic self. And this hair keeps on wanting to come into my mouth. But self-acceptance really, it's not about being perfect. It's not about being, and I use this word as well, it's not about being enlightened. It's not being in complete control of your every emotion and your every action. Self-acceptance is, even when I feel really shitty about myself, it's okay. It's okay. It doesn't mean I have the license to walk around like an asshole, but it means that I'm not judging myself anymore. And that is a huge, huge piece of not just self-acceptance and self-love, but just knowing that it's safe to be within ourselves. It's we walk around with so much self-judgment and feeling like we're not good enough and that we need to show up as somebody that's better than who we are. So one thing to think about with self-acceptance is that question that I brought up before, and I find it really useful that when you're feeling something and you can feel that part of you is judgmental and you're not feeling self-acceptance, you're certainly not feeling any self-love. But in that moment, can you ask yourself the question, can what I'm feeling right now be okay? And maybe the answer is no. So it's like, okay, can that be okay? Can I be okay with not being okay? Because the point is to just invite yourself to land in the moment with what is here now, knowing that it can change. Like, that's the great thing about life, is that the only constant is change. So if you're in a really bad state right now, it will change. It will. But it will take longer if you don't accept where you are right now. Because it's like, imagine it when you're in a conversation with your partner, with your boyfriend, with your girlfriend, with your wife, with your husband, whatever it is. And you really want to be seen or heard in a certain way, and they're kind of ignoring you. What does it do? It either pisses you off, or it makes you sad, it makes you lonely, it makes you feel like you're not understood, you're not significant, you're not lovable. It can go into a whole story. We're doing this within ourselves. So if we don't accept where we are now without judgment, we don't feel seen, we don't feel heard, we don't feel understood by ourselves. And then we feel very lonely. We feel very alone within our experience, because we're actually keeping our experience, we're stuffing it away. We're stuffing it down, really, which is not away, it's just down. So yeah, come back to this question. Is what I'm feeling okay? Can it be okay? Can I be okay with that? And then you can inquire to, okay, why am I feeling like this? With curiosity, not with judgment. That's a whole other video. I'll do a whole other video about judgment. But acceptance is, can what I'm feeling right now, can what I'm thinking right now even be okay? Can I just look at it with curiosity, with inquisitiveness as to, why am I feeling like this? What part of me needs my attention, needs my love, needs my presence? And can I just sit here and be with it without needing to fix or change anything just right now, just to be in the practice of being with myself? So that is a first step, which in and of itself takes practice. It's not complicated, it's very simple. What's complicated is changing our habits around not always going to judging ourselves, not being so quick to put ourselves down or so quick to push away our experience because we're judging it, but to just sit and be with it and ask if it's okay. So that's a big step one, and I'm sure I'll come back with more videos on to what the next step of the process is. So I hope that's helpful. If you're interested in coaching, please feel free to sign up for your free 20-minute phone consultation, and I'm happy to answer any questions you might have there. And in the meantime, I wish you well.